The 2005 edition of Thanksgiving Day football in the city of Quincy brings two very different stories to the field. The President's tradition of excellence returned in 2005, with the team sitting towards the top of the Atlantic Coast League the entire year, battling for a league championship to the end. Across the field, the Red Raiders have not had the same success. Playing a tough schedule, the Raiders came up just a little too short too many times. However, on Thanksgiving Day, records are put aside and the city championship trophy is in sight. Each player has been waiting for this moment, a moment to shine, a moment of glory, a moment of pride. Quincy versus North Quincy, the tradition continues next. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Veterans Memorial Stadium for the 73rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game between the Quincy High School Presidents and the North Quincy Red Raiders. My name is Jonathan Caleri. I'm being joined by Matt McLaughlin in the booth today. And Matt, this Thanksgiving Day game between Quincy High School and North Quincy High School is always a great game, no matter what the records are for the teams.
It definitely is, John. And as you mentioned, the records mean basically nothing coming into Thanksgiving because the energy of both teams coming out in that field, they're leaving nothing on it after today's game.
All right, down on the field right now, we're getting ready for some of our pregame ceremonies. We're going to be having the homecoming king and queen right now for North Quincy. They are down out on the field. And we're going to have the Quincy High School homecoming king and queen coming out on the field momentarily as well. As you can see on the field, down in that picture, it is extremely wet and muddy down the field. Earlier on in the day, there was lots of snow on the ground. And around 8 o'clock in the morning, it turned to rain. And this field has become very soaked with mud, lots of water. And it's going to be a very muddy game, Matt, and we'll see how the teams adjust to it. The coaches were out on the field before the players were, and all of them were seeing how the field was and how they're going to have to adjust their game script here for today.
Yeah, it is going to be tough, John, to get the running game going as you look into the middle of the field. I think from both 30-yard lines, 30-yard line to 30-yard line on the Quincy and North side, the conditions are just awful, John. It looks to be a little swamp out there.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've had quite a few rainy games here at the stadium this year for both Quincy High School and North Quincy High School, and it's going to be interesting to see how it affects the teams here today. You might remember last Thanksgiving, it was much like it was today with lots of rain and a muddy field, and last year Quincy was able to come out on top by a score of 27-0. So we'll see how it affects the teams here again today. Coming into this game, the Presidents have a record of 6-3. Their first game of the season was here at the stadium against Hingham, and they lost by a score of 20-8. Their next game was against Falmouth, and they traveled down to the Cape, and they won 20-8 last time. They went to Plymouth North here at the stadium, and it was a fantastic game, and they lost by a score of 13-7, and that somewhat set them back in the Atlantic Coast League title race. Next game against Whitman-Hanson, they won 14-10. They lost to Stoughton 19-0. They beat Plymouth South in an outstanding game at Plymouth South. It was late in the fourth quarter. The Presidents charged down the field, scored a touchdown to tie it at 14. It was 14-13. And the coaches and the players decided they wanted to go for 2 points in for the win. They got the 2 points in the win by a score of 15-14. Next game, they beat Nauset pretty easily by a score of 35-21. Beat DY 19-17. And their last game at Sandwich, they lost 14-0. North Quincy has had a different story here this year, Matt. They've had some troubles in the first 7 games. They went 0-7, losing to Boston Latin, Scituate, Sandwich, Falmouth, Plymouth North, Dennis Yarmouth, and Whitman-Hanson. On October 28th, they went to Somerville, and they won 19-6. Then they went to Nauset and won 20-12. And then the last game of the season here at the stadium, they lost by a score of 28-0. So two different stories coming into this game.
Two very different stories, John. As you can see, North Quincy dropped the first 7 games, but they did win the last 2 out of their 3 games, but that last loss coming at the last game against Plymouth South, which was just their worst game of the season, losing 20-0 to home. 20-0 at home, I'm sorry. And you never know how a team's going to rebound after a 28 being shut out at home, and that's just tough, John, to be shut out at home.
All right. The Atlantic Coast League race, Quincy is currently in 3rd place, and the best it can hope for, unfortunately, here this year is a 2nd place finish. Right now, going on down in Plymouth, between Plymouth North and Plymouth South, is the battle for the Atlantic Coast League title. The Plymouth North team is at a record of 7-0, Plymouth South at 6-1, and the winner of that game will go on to the Division 2A playoff game. So it's an exciting playoff race down there in Plymouth, and certainly the tides have turned down in Plymouth South, where they had some unfortunate years, some down years, and last year they were winless. But this year, turning around, have an overall record at 7-2 and 6-1 in the league, going against Plymouth North for the Atlantic Coast League title here today.
Yeah, it's good to hear, John. Plymouth really turning the football program around down there.
And it's actually some of the powerhouses this year. The Whitman Hansons, they had a down year. Falmouth had a down year. And Nauset, who had a pretty good year last year, is winless right now at 0-9. So, in Quincy last year, they had a tough year last year, but they've turned it around this year as well, coming back up in the league. So we'll have to see how things turn out here today. We want to mention at the top of the broadcast, if you're interested in when this game will be replayed on Quincy Access TV, we hope you log on to the website at www.qatv.org for program schedules, membership information, and much, much more. So again, log on to qatv.org and see when the 73rd edition of Thanksgiving football will be replayed on QATV Channel 8. Right now down on the field, the North Quincy Combined Band is getting ready to perform our national anthem. So we're going to go down to them momentarily.
John, I do want to thank you, by the way, for having me up in the booth this season. Much more comfortable than being down on the sidelines. We had about the same weather last year. So it's a very much appreciative change.
Well, Matt, we're certainly glad you can join us here on Thanksgiving Day. It's always a big day here in the city of Quincy when these two schools meet. And this whole weekend is actually a great weekend for the city of Quincy with the Thanksgiving Day game here today. On Friday, they have the ceremonial lighting in Quincy Center. On Saturday, they have Santa's arrival by parachute at Pageant Field. And then, of course, on Sunday is the annual Christmas Festival Parade. So it's a fantastic weekend here in the city of Quincy. Lots to do. And not only for the people of the city of Quincy, but for residents from around the Quincy area, from Braintree and Weymouth. They come on down on Sunday, see the parade. They see Santa parachuting at Pageant Field. So it's a great weekend here in the city of Quincy and something they should be proud of.
Certainly is, John.
All right, down the field, the color guard is getting ready to come out onto the field, as you see on your screen there, and we're going to have a national anthem momentarily. Well, I want to mention, while we have some time here at the top of the broadcast, there were quite a few Atlantic Coast League All-Stars representing both Quincy High School and North Quincy High School. One thing, Matt, you and I were talking about before the broadcast was that 2 of the top 3 running backs in the Atlantic Coast League are from Quincy. Everton DeCastro from the Presidents and Chris Tufo for the Red Raiders. Both got the first top vote getter and the second top vote getter in the Atlantic Coast League All-Star balloting.
Yeah, that certainly is a remarkable honor. As you can see, Everton DeCastro had over 1,100 yards, John, and 8 touchdowns. I mean, to me, high school football, that is certainly a feat to be proud of. And Chris Tufo is not coming very short of that. He has about 600 yards on 4 touchdowns, but he did miss 2 games. So it's going to be a nice matchup here, the run game. But as we mentioned, the field conditions are just terrible. So it could be tough to get that run game going, and we know Coach Noble is not afraid to throw the football in these weather conditions.
Certainly not. We also want to mention the other Atlantic Coast League All-Stars for the Presidents. DJ Andrews, the defensive end, Chris Pratt, the left tackle, and Pat Stroud, the nose tackle. And also each team had an honorable mention, Tom Hazelhurst and Benson Luke. Hazelhurst for Quincy and Benson Luke for the Red Raiders. So a good demonstration and outstanding support here for the Quincy Presidents and Red Raiders. And certainly lots of respect for these 2 teams in the Atlantic Coast League, certainly for the Presidents with 5 people, 4 All-Stars and 1 honorable mention. All right, we have a little bit of a pause here down on the field. As we mentioned, still getting ready for underway for the national anthem and for our color guard presentation. We've already seen the homecoming king and queen for the presidents and the Red Raiders come onto the field and be introduced. And that's one of the other great traditions here in the city of Quincy, having the homecoming king and queens come onto the field and get a little recognition before the game takes place.
Not too much recognition going on here today, John. We got about, 100 people here at today's game? It's not a jam-packed.
Certainly not, Matt, but hopefully coming back in here, it's been a great crowd for most of the season here in the city of Quincy
Definitely
for all
has.
the football games. And while it's a little bit rainy out here today, hopefully we can get a nice crowd here. It's still a little bit early. The game hasn't started yet. Hopefully people can come on down. If you're listening to us right now, come on down to the stadium. Still lots of tickets left, and we hope you come on down. It's going to be a great game here at the stadium today. And it's always a great Thanksgiving Day game no matter what happens.
John. Regardless of the weather, everyone can rough it. It's just a nice tradition to bring down the family, watch some good football.
All right, as we mentioned, this is the 73rd edition of Thanksgiving Day football here in the city of Quincy. And right now, Quincy has the advantage in the overall record. Quincy has a 39, 28, and 5 ties record in this game. And as you might remember, Quincy has been quite successful in the past few years. They have won 6 straight games in 10 of the last 11. And that's a record in itself of these games. This record, 6 straight wins in 10 of the 11. Quincy has dominated this matchup for the past 11 years.
And if you talk to Coach Noble, head coach of the Quincy High Presidents, he takes the Bill Belichick approach in saying, 6 in a row, 7 in a row, it's a nice record, but they take the same approach every game as they did in the first game, the second game, the third game. It's just to beat North Quincy and play a good, solid game.
Okay, we're getting ready for our national anthem and color guard presentation again. Slight delay here at the stadium. We're not sure what's causing for the delay. So we'll be getting underway here momentarily, hopefully. We want to thank our crew for coming out here today on this rainy, wet day and cold day here at the stadium. We have 4 cameras bringing this game to you. Microphones scattered throughout the field as well. So QATV, in our annual coverage of this game, bring the footage to you. And we hope you enjoy the game. Again, log on to our website for replay schedules when it's going to be on at qatv.org. And this game will be replayed several times on Thanksgiving Day, the day after Thanksgiving, and all of Thanksgiving weekend, and, of course, several times after that as well. Matt, we had a little new tradition begin this year at QATV with classic QATV Thanksgiving Day football games starting the weekend before. And we had the games from 1997, 1998, 2003, 1992, and the 2004 game. And, of course, the 2003 game was the game when the Presidents clinched the Atlantic Coast League title and went to the playoff game. And 1992 was when the Red Raiders went undefeated and went on to beat Arlington in the Division I Super Bowl. So a couple of classic games on QATV, and we hope you enjoyed those classic football games as a little bit of a precursor coming up to this game here today.
It was a very nice new approach, John, and I did find myself watching a couple of those games.
I can see down the field now their cheerleaders are getting ready, and the Red Raiders are getting ready to come out of the tunnel.
Normally that banner would be run through, but North Quincy taking the safe approach and walking through.
Yeah, this team is very serious coming onto the field. They know they have a job to do here today.
Definitely.
And a lot of things can be forgotten here today. The Red Raiders, as we mentioned, had a tough year so far this year. But if they come out here and are able to beat a President's team, a lot would be forgiven. And a lot of these seniors remember that the season was somewhat of a success because they were able to beat their rival from across the city.
Yeah, definitely. It really would make their season, and North Quincy knows that, and I'm pretty sure Quincy knows that. It will make North Quincy's season with a win here today. As you can see on your screen, the Quincy Presidents are being set to come out.
All right, Presidents are in the tunnel getting ready to come out, as you mentioned. Things are finally getting underway here at the stadium.
And here come the Presidents.
All right, so Presidents a little bit more traditional approach coming out into the field here, marching
Definitely.
out, running onto the field.
They are ready to go, John, and I believe North Quincy is too. We are set for a great game, it looks to be. Hopefully that field can hold up.
Yeah, this field has done extremely well here during the season for a lot of the, as I mentioned, a lot of the games that had lots of rain. We had a couple of games where there was lots of fog and rain, so it made it a little bit difficult for the teams down in the field. But we'll see what happens here today. You can see from about the 30-yard line to the 30-yard line, lots of mud in the middle of the field and not much grass is left. And, of course, that's where most of the action is going to be done here today. So a lot of that is going to be eaten up, and a lot of the other grass is going to be turning to mud shortly here today, too. We want to say congratulations to the park department on a great job in getting the field painted and ready for today's game. Certainly cannot expect a day full of rain and prepare for that, but they did a nice job for that. What we're going to do is now is we're going to go down onto the field to our public address announcer and for the color guard presentation and our national anthem.
And Sergeant John D. Lorenzo. The playing of the national anthem will be by the combined Quincy-North Quincy band under the direction of Mr. Rich Keneally.
A nice job there by the Quincy-North Quincy Combined Band under the direction of Mr. Richard Keneally playing our national anthem here today. And the ROTC from Quincy High School coming out presenting the colors from Quincy High School and North Quincy High School, excuse me. All right, the captains are going to be getting ready to come out onto the field momentarily here. We do have a microphone on our referee today. The referee is John Maganelli. So we'll be able to hear the conversation between the captains, and also all the calls here today we'll be able to bring up and see what the penalty call is.
It's definitely a nice added feature, John, to have the referee mic'd up.
All right, the captains for each team coming out onto the field now. For Quincy High School, Everton DeCastro, Chris Ryan McDonald, Dan Neenan, DJ Andrews, and Chris Pratt. And for the Red Raiders, Carlos Okoa and Mike Omani. So we're going to go down to the field now for the coin toss and see who's going to be able to get the ball first here for the 73rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game. Down to the field.
That's Mr. Omani. Omani, good to meet you. I'm Mr. Magnarelli. And Achua? Achua, good to meet you, son. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Chris Pratt, 56 Pat Stroud, 27 Chris Ryan McDonald, and 54 DJ Andrews.
Okay, guys, your last high school football game, right? Play football. That's all we want to see. Good, hard football today, okay? So Manning, that's a tail.
Yep.
That's a head.
All right.
Throw it in the air if you call it, okay?
Heads.
Heads he calls, and it is a head.
You want the ball,
You,
sir?
you want the ball in the first half. Which goal do you want to kick from? Put your backs over here. Over here. North Quincy has won the toss. Will receive at the North goal. Shake hands, guys. Let's have a great football game. Good game now. Good game.
All right, so as you heard, the Red Raiders won the toss, and they said, we want the ball here in the first half, coming out with a positive attitude and a confidence attitude there. Quincy is going to be defending the south goal, and the Red Raiders will be defending the north goal here. Get ready for the beginning of our Thanksgiving Day football game.
Now that's just what North Quincy wanted. They'd like to attack first and try and get the first 6 on the board and possibly 7 on the board, John. But I think that Quincy defense, they are fired up to go.
All right, so we're almost underway here for Thanksgiving football here at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Quincy, Massachusetts. My name's Jonathan Calera. We're doing play-by-play for you here today. I'm joined by Matt McLaughlin, who will be offering his color analysis of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Quincy High School Class of 2000 reunion will be on Saturday, January.
All right, so the teams are meeting on their sides of the field now for kickoff and kick return, getting ready for underway here.
Quincy High School Class of 2000.
Rain has let up just a little bit here, Matt. The sun's trying to break through a little
It
bit
is trying
now.
to poke through, John.
The forecast is called for rain back and forth on and off today, especially during in the late morning. So hopefully the rain will be able to hold up for a little while. And good sign here as we're getting ready to kick off, the rain has stopped and the sun is trying to come out. All right, so both teams come out into the field now.
Kicking off for the Presidents will be 26.
Back to receive for the Red Raiders is going to be Benson Luke, number 24, and Sean McBride, number 7. Kicking off for the Presidents will be number 26, Everton DeCastro.
Everton DeCastro should be very busy out in that field today, John.
Yeah, he certainly will be. As we mentioned, he had just over or close to 1,100 yards this year and 8 touchdowns, and he led this team in scoring with a total of 69 points. So DeCastro is one of the main features here of this Quincy offense. And also, he's going to be doing the kicking duties here today for the Presidents, too. All right, the teams are lined up now, and we come to the field with the beginning of the 73rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game here in Quincy. Benson Luke's going to field it at his own 5-yard line, runs up the left sideline to the 20, and he's going to get knocked out of bounds there at about the 21-yard line. Over there for Quincy, looked like it was Chris Pratt, as well as Ryan McDonald on the tackle. We're going to get the offensive lineups here for the Red Raiders after this first play. North is led by number 11, Mike O'Mani. As you can see in your screen right there, Mike O'Mani is the quarterback, Jade Peener and Danny Jackson is the halfbacks, Chris Toofer the fullback, Benson Luke the wide receiver, and Dave Guerrero wide receiver. We'll get to the offensive line momentarily.
It'll be interesting to see what they do here with the first play of the game, John.
All right, Jackson goes in motion. O'Mani back to pass, being pressured, throws it up, and it is almost caught there and dropped there. Pass was intended for Anthony Black. Also, Benson Luke was in the area. Real quick, we'll go now to the offensive line for the Red Raiders onto our screen. And as you can see there, Ben Johnson, Carlos Okoa, Mike Regan, Phil Kelly, and John Benoit will be protecting Mike O'Mani in the pocket here today.
So often, John, the offensive linemen don't get credit, but that's really what wins football games, the offensive line giving the quarterback nice protection and creating nice holes for the running backs.
Second down and 10 now from the 22-yard line. 4 receivers set, 2 from the backfield. Jackson goes in motion. It's a handoff to Jackson. He loses it, slipped out of his hands, being pursued, gets away from a tackle, and he's going to get a yard on that play. Being pursued there by Everton DeCastro way in the backfield, but Jackson did a nice job to get away there and pick up a yard, maybe 2 on that play. All right, we're going to go now to the Quincy High School starting defensive lineup. And at defensive end, we have Chris Pratt as well as Pat Stroud in the tackle, and DJ Andrews as tackle, and Mike Neenan the other end. The linebacking core for this Quincy High School team is Tom Hazelhurst, Camilo Arredondo, and Dan Neenan. And in the backfield, at cornerback is Ryan McDonald, Jim Akins, and the safeties are John Brooks and Everton DeCastro.
John, this defensive line for Quincy has been phenomenal all season. You know what you're going to get from them, especially Pat Stroud.
All right, 3rd and 7, ball's at the 25. Omani passes, and he was hit as he passed the ball, and pass goes incomplete. So bring it down a 4th down and 7.
You know, we're going to be saying it all day. The field conditions, it's just going to be tough, and players will have to adjust to that as the game goes on.
All right, so you can see there in the first couple plays of the game, the ball was wet and slippery, especially in that handoff to Danny Jackson. He got the handoff, and you could see just as it got into his hands, it slipped out, but he was able to corral it and bring it back down and gave a couple of yards on that play. But it's going to be 4th and 7 now for the Red Raiders. Anthony Black's going to be back to kick for the Red Raiders. DeCastro McDonald back for the Presidents, and he just gets it off. It looked like it might have been tipped. We're going to have a flag on the play. And ball's going to fall dead there. It looked like Chris Pratt might have gotten a piece of that, but there's a flag on the play. And we're going to have a roughing the kicker call.
That's tough. And, you know, you don't want to get the excitement and intensity of Thanksgiving. You don't want to be caught up in the moment. You want to just play football. And it's tough to get caught up in the moment like that in a little roughing the kicker penalty.
Coach Bob Noble is saying that Pratt did get a piece of the ball, and the referee saying no, he did not. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down for the Red Raiders. So a big break for them. And John Magnarelli's going over and explaining to Coach Noble exactly what happened there.
Quincy still has decent field position, but that 15 yards is tough, John.
All right, so the ball is at the 40-yard line for the Red Raiders on that 15-yard penalty. So the Red Raiders get a break there, and this drive will continue. All right, Raiders come to the line. 2 receivers and 2 split. It's a handoff to Tufo. Tufo gets to the 45. Flag thrown on the play. Tufo's going to go out of bounds at the 47-yard line. We'll have to see what the flag is, though.
Could be a face mask, John.
Right off the bat, too, you can see the white jerseys for the Red Raiders are getting dirty already on these first couple plays of the game.
It could be tough to see those numbers in about 10 minutes, John.
Certainly could.
There was an illegal block in the back. That was the penalty on the play. And like I said, these kids are fired up to play, but you know they will calm down after a couple of plays and they'll just play football. Such a hyped up game, but what it boils down to, it's just a football game.
All right, so it's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So the ball's going to move back to the 35-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 15. So already a couple flags here in this game right off the bat.
John, the crowd does appear to be picking up a little bit down here at Veterans Stadium. So you can see the visitors over the North Quincy side. It seems to be filling up a lot than what it was about a half hour ago.
Yeah, nice crowd is coming in, filling the stadium here. On that last play there, Omani kept it himself and ran back to the 40-yard line. So he gets that 5 yards back. So we'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 now. So Omani kept that ball himself there and ran the ball up there on the draw. And he's going to go over to Coach Bill Shaughnessy and get the play call. 9:40 left to go here in the first quarter. Still scoreless here in the game. Raiders come up to the line in I formation. Presidents show blitz, and they do. Ball gets loose past Jackson, and Jackson's going to dive on it there, playing it safe at the 28-yard line. Ball got loose there on the pitch, and Jackson had no choice but to jump on it and make sure the Raiders didn't lose that possession of the ball.
Yeah, it's the second time it's happened to Jackson, and the second time he wasn't so lucky. The first time he capitalized on that and brought the ball back in, but it's just tough to lose that ball. The ball could be very slippery. Here's the instant replay. As you see, he just misses it and just dives on top of it.
It actually looks like it might have, Chris Tufo might have tipped it there as well and gotten away from both of them there. So either way, ball is all the way back at the 28-yard line.
And that's a very tough break for North Quincy, and it's now almost as if that penalty, it's going to cross itself out.
Yeah, 3rd and 22 now to go. And it's going to be a timeout now called by the Raiders, it looks like. So Raiders call a timeout here. Saw something on the field that they didn't like.
It's tough to blow an early timeout like that with 8 minutes and 41 seconds into the game, but North Quincy probably just wants to take a second, get their thoughts together, and get this right play on the field.
Yeah, certainly one thing the Red Raiders do not want to do is get behind in this ball game. This President's team, where they get some points on the board, they are tough to come back on. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 22 now. Ball at the 28-yard line. It's going to be North Quincy High School's 8th play of the drive. They were going to go 4 and out, but then a roughing the kicker penalty on the Presidents and a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down gave the Red Raiders another chance. So now it's 3rd and 22. Black goes emotional. Monty back to pass. Looks down the middle of the field, and it is, dropped there by Danny Jackson. Went right through his hands, and he couldn't bring it in. Ball was all the way down at the 40-yard line of Quincy High School and went right through his hands, and he just couldn't grab it and bring it in.
Monty had a great little pass right there, John. That was about, a 25-yard pass?
Yeah, it was a nice pass there. He was able to get behind. We're going to see on the replay here. Perfect ball, and right there, it went right through his hands. And you can see after the play there, he slid another 10 yards there in the middle of the field after he went down on the ground.
That just gives you an idea how bad the field conditions are right now. And it's going to be tough to get even run game going. But North Quincy is not afraid to pass, as they've shown here early.
All right, so Red Raiders are forced to punt, and it's a high punt. McDonald's going to call for a fair catch, and he catches it at the Red Raiders' 46-yard line, and that's where the Presidents are going to take over on their first down.
Number 54, DJ Andrews, was going back, and it looked like he just slipped in the mud, and it appears that he might have injured himself a little bit, but he is out there. There's no attention going towards him, but it's just something to look out for. We'll have to see how he does on this offensive set.
All right, Presidents come up to the line now, led by Matt Boyle, the quarterback. Split backfield next to Boyle. Boyle's going to hand it to the Castro, runs over to the right, gets across to the 40-yard line. Great spin move there at the 45-yard line. Broke him free, and he gets past the 40 to the 39-yard line.
Everton DeCastro, he break that nice tackle and just kept going. He is one of those Heath Evans types that once you need to tackle him. You can't have a missed tackle. You just got to go by the legs and bring him down. As you can see in the replay here, it's just a missed tackle, and he's going to go for an extra about 5 yards after the first hit.
All right, ball spotted at the 39. So 2nd down and 3 now for the Presidents. They're going to give it to the Castro again. He runs up the middle this time, and he's brought down there. Big tackle there by number 61, Rob Connell of the Red Raiders.
Yeah, definitely, and that may be a gain of 1, but right at the line of scrimmage. And I think Everton DeCastro need a little bit more than that to get a win here at Veterans Stadium today.
All right, real quick, we're going to go to the starting offensive lineup for the Quincy High School Presidents. As we mentioned, the quarterback is Matt Boyle. In the backfield, we're going to see Everton DeCastro. We talked about the Atlantic Coast League All-Star. Wide receiver Tommy Hazelhurst and Matt Giordani with Chris Ryan McDonald and Camilo Arundando. We'll get to the offensive line after this. 3rd down and 2 now from the 38. Boyle in the shotgun, bad snap. He picks it back up, though, and he is brought down in the backfield there by Chris Tufo. Nice job by Tufo to come in, and he had some help there with the bad snap, but Tufo takes all the advantage of it and brings him down for a loss of 5 on the play. All right, real quick, we'll go to the offensive line now for the Quincy Presidents. Chris Pratt and Mark Cugini are the tackles. DJ Andrews and Dan Neenan are the guards, and Pat Stroud is the center.
4th and 6 here with just about 6 minutes and 34 to go. They're going to have to punt the ball. Everton DeCastro again, very dirty and very busy out in this field.
Yeah, DeCastro is the punter for this team as well, so he gets ready to kick. Good snap. And the Castro gets a nice kickoff, goes on the right sideline, and bounces at the 25, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. That's where the Red Raiders will take over.
John, what doesn't Everton DeCastro do? Kicker, punter, field goals, running back. He's a busy kid.
Yeah, he certainly is a man of many trades here for this President's team. And it certainly shows. He had 11 extra points here this year. We said 8 rushing touchdowns. He had a defensive touchdown as well, and 2 two-point conversions for a total of 69 points on the year.
Those are just remarkable numbers, John. Remarkable.
North Quincy comes to the line. Amani pitches it to the Tufo. Tufo runs to the right, and he cuts back now to the left, and he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage there. In there for Quincy was Mike Neenan as well as Dan Neenan.
And the Neenan brothers, very nice to see. Mike Neenan coming off a serious injury his junior year. It's nice to see him out here for his senior year on Thanksgiving Day. I know it's a very big accomplishment for him to be out there. The Neenan's personal friends of mine, so it's nice to see Mike out there.
So bringing up a 2nd down and 10 now for the Red Raiders. They come to the line. Omani's in the shotgun. Tufo next to him. 4 receivers set. Omani looks to his left and fires, and it is, I'm not sure if it's caught or if it's going to be an interception. 2 players are fighting for the ball there.
It looked picked off to me, John.
John Brooks was over there for the Presidents. And it looks like Dave Guerrero is going to come up with the ball, and he does. He takes it away from Brooks. Nice job by Dave Guerrero. Excellent play there by Brooks as well. They both got to the ball at the same time. Looked like they both caught it at the exact same time. But North Quincy is going to come up with it in a 1st down for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, that's a nice break for North Quincy. That's the kind of things they need here. And the replays you can see, we'll try and you can't really see the reception.
Yeah, it looks like we missed it right there. But it's going to be a 1st down and 10 now for the Red Raiders. Ball at the 34-yard line. It's going to be a handoff now to Jackson, and runs to the right, and he's being pursued by DeCastro, and Jackson's going to go out of bounds at the 35-yard line. He slid out of bounds. Nice job by DeCastro. Just give him a little bit of push, and he lost his footing and went out of bounds.
Jackson very busy today, and he's just trying to get something going, and inevitably it should happen for Jackson.
Danny Jackson is the 5'7" sophomore for the Red Raiders. Getting some more playing time towards the end of the year here for this team. So 2nd down and 9. Monty, snap goes over his head, being pursued, and he's going to jump on it. Ball's still loose. And it looks like Quincy has recovered it. Omani jumped on the ball. He jumped on the ball. When he jumped on it, he didn't corral it and have enough control over it. And it looked like for the Presidents coming up there.
I believe it was DJ Andrews, number 54 in your programs. As you can see, but I think we're going to do a replay here. As you can see, DJ just gets right in there. Pops the ball loose. I think it was Chaz Mungelson. Yeah, and DJ just rips the ball from him.
All right, so they're actually going to call it a 3rd down. They're going to say that he was down and did have control of the ball. Looked like the initial signal there was a 1st down for the Presidents, and it's going to remain Red Raiders ball.
Now the Presidents have excellent field position. The ball on the North Quincy's 20.
So 3rd and long now for the Red Raiders. They're going to give it to Tufo. Tufo runs up the middle, gets to the 30. He still has some open room there. Excellent run there by Chris Tufo, and he's going to get to the Red Raiders 35-yard line. A 15-yard gain there on 3rd down.
Yeah, it's been said once Tufo gets in the backfield, you have to be very cautious of him and not let that happen because he will just run over plays. As you can see in the replay here, he breaks through, and that's what he does. He will just run over players once he gets in the backfield.
Everton DeCastro on the tackle there.
Now, John, I missed that. Was that not a fumble?
Yeah, not a fumble. The initial signal was for the Presidents, but they said that Omani had recovered it and was down, so we made
down on contact. Okay.
So it'll be 4th and 10 now North's forced to punt. Punt is kicked away and almost hit McDonald there on the side of the field. He thought it was going to go over his head. And McDonald's at the 43-yard line. The ball just went in front of him. He couldn't find it. And the ball's going to be down now at the Quincy High School 40-yard line.
In that situation, not too much communication going on with Chris Ryan McDonald and Everton DeCastro, and that can't be the case on Thanksgiving.
So Quincy will take over at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Presidents. This is their second drive of the game. After this play, we're going to get to the North Quincy starting defense. All right, Presidents come to the line. DeCastro in the backfield. They're going to give it to DeCastro, and he's hitting the backfield. He still gets another 5 yards on that play, though. Nice job by DeCastro. He was able to spin away from the tackle. Looked like Terrence Sibley came up and made the initial hit. DeCastro spun away from him, went into the middle of the field, and picks up 5 on the gain.
DeCastro really seems to accelerate after he has been hit once, and if you don't tackle him, he will burn you for a couple more yards. You can see the replay here. He just forces himself for another 3-4 yards.
All right, real quick, we're going to get to the North Quincy High School starting defense. On the line is Rob Connell, the nose guard. Terrence Sibley and Anthony Walsh are the defensive tackles. The linebacking crew is Anthony Black, Jade Pina, Chris Tufo, and Akil Benjamin. And in the backfield, Steve Spring, Sean McBride, Dave Guerrero, James Blyler, and Kevin Adams. All right, so hand up now to Tom Hazelhurst. He gets to the 40. He's fighting his way. He gets to the 50-yard line, and he's going to be very close to a first down. He brought down there by Tufo. Also over there for the Red Raiders was Kevin Adams.
Yeah, that's very important, John. On initial contact, Quincy seems to be doing this very well. They can accelerate for 2-3 more yards. It doesn't seem like that much at first, but those yards really add up.
All right, they do get the first down, so it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Presidents at the 50-yard line. 2:20 left to go here in the first quarter, still scoreless.
This first quarter for Quincy has been all run, John.
Yeah, we anticipated that there might be some passing here. Coach Noble certainly likes to have the passing game in his arsenal of plays, and so far we haven't seen that from the Presidents.
It's still early. They could surprise us.
All right, Hazelhurst goes in motion. They fake it to him. They give it to DeCastro. Goes up the middle. He gets to the 45-yard line where he is stopped and brought back. Brought down there by Sean McBride. Also over there was Akil Benjamin on the tackle. So 2nd and 5 now from the North Quincy 45-yard line.
Just about a minute and a half remaining in the first quarter.
This drive for the Presidents has been 5 yards at a time. 3 runs and 5 yards on each run. So 2nd down and 5 now at the 45-yard line. Camilla Arendando goes wide right. Giordani's wide left for the Presidents. McDonald and Hazel in the slot. It's going to be an option to to DeCastro. He gets to the 40-yard line where he's brought down there. But it's going to be close to another President's first down.
Yeah, they'll probably measure that, John. It should be good for a first down if it's a nice spot.
Yeah, they're going to get the first down there. So another first down for the Presidents. Chris Tufo is over there on the tackle for the Red Raiders. So another Presidents first down here, and they have this ball moving here. Another 5-yard gain. Ball's at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Presidents.
And Matt Boyle executed the option play to DeCastro perfectly. That's exactly how you want to get it done, John.
Yeah, he was able to draw in the defensive end and pitch it at the very last second and get a nice game for DeCastro. And it's a pitch to the left this time for DeCastro. He cuts up, gets to the 35, and gets past the 35 to the 33-yard line where he was brought down there by Akil Benjamin.
DeCastro could have another 1,100-yard game here today if it keeps up like this.
All right, they spot the ball at the 33, so 7-yard gain there. And it'll bring up now a 2nd down and 3. All right, it's probably going to be the last play of the quarter here as we're at 15 seconds left to go in the quarter. Presidents come up to the line. 3 receivers in the slot to the left of Boyle. They just get the play off the hands of DeCastro. He gets to the 31-yard line where he's met there by 4 Red Raiders. And that's going to be the end of the quarter there. Akil Benjamin was in there, as well as McBrien, and also Kevin Adams on the tackle for the Red Raiders to hold up Everton de Castro. So at the end of the first quarter play at the 73rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game, we are scoreless.
And I think North Quincy's very happy with that play. I mean, Everton de Castro has burnt them for a couple big runs, but overall, North Quincy's defense has looked matched up pretty well against Quincy's offense.
When we come back, it's going to be a 3rd down and 1 to go. And so far, it's been all running game here today for both teams. A couple of passing plays for each team, but they haven't been very successful, Matt. There was that one play that was thrown to Danny Jackson, went through his hands. It would have been a big game for the Red Raiders, but for the most part, it's been on the running game here for both teams.
Yeah, it is. As we mentioned, we got a little problem right here. As we mentioned, the field conditions have just been terrible, and you can see that in the play, John. And it's just tough for these kids to get something going in the run game. Everton de Castro's not having that big of a problem, but as you mentioned, Danny Jackson is having trouble getting that ball into his hands and running with it. Yeah,
the Quincy Presidents have been going to their workhorse, Everton de Castro, so far here in the first quarter, and he's had an outstanding game, picking up lots of first downs, and especially on this last drive that we've seen here in the end of the first quarter, the Presidents picked up a couple of first downs, and they're going to have a 3rd and 1 when we pick up the second quarter here.
Definitely. The Presidents do have momentum going into this second quarter, John.
All right, so we pick it up. They give it to de Castro once again, and he's going to get right to the 30-yard line where he is met there by the Red Raiders. Kevin Adams was over there, Sean McBrien, Akil Benjamin, also Benson Luke. But it looks like he's going to pick up, no, they're going to say it's a 4th down, just shy. They need to get just past the 30, and he is right on the 30. So it'll be a 4th down and very short now for the Presidents. Full house backfield now for the Presidents. It's a pitch to de Castro to the left. He has some open room. He gets to the 25, now to the 20, and he tiptoes his way in bounds. He actually got went out bounds at the 22-yard line, but they pick up the 1st down.
De Castro is just running with a full head of steam right now, and that's going to be tough for the North Quincy defense to stop if Everton de Castro keeps this up.
It was a full house backfield. They have Pat Strauss in the backfield there along with DJ Andrews, as you're going to see here on the replay. And you can see running over to the left there, de Castro was able to break a tackle, and he just tiptoed out of bounds there, but picked up the 1st down.
We mentioned de Castro's name so much, but what should be credited is the offensive line. They're creating Everton de Castro. They're creating holes for him to have these great runs.
All right, again, full house backfield for the Presidents. This time they give it to DJ Andrews, and he's going to get to the 20-yard line. So a 2-yard gain there. 2nd down and 8 now. Presidents, as we mentioned, has been sticking to the ground here, and it's been working here in this quarter and in this drive. The Red Raiders haven't had too many answers for the Presidents' running game, and as you mentioned there, the offensive line for the Presidents has been outstanding here in this game.
That's right, John. You have to stick with what works, and what works right now is the run game for Quincy.
All right, they fake the handoff, and Boyle was trying to fake the handoff, be coy about it, but then he slipped and got tripped up. And the ball's going to go all the way back now to the 30-yard line. A loss of 10 there for the Presidents.
Yeah, if he wasn't tripped up, that would have been a nice play, and it could have been a nice drive. That's tough now. It's 3rd and long, 3rd and 16. And they're just about on Quincy's 20 right now. Or Quincy's 25.
All right, so as you said, 3rd and long now for the Presidents. So they come to the line. This time they show a pass. They have 4 wide receivers and de Castro in the backfield, Boyle in the shotgun. And it looks like we're going to have an offensive penalty there. The offensive line jumped, and everyone jumped, but the ball didn't snap there, and was just a little bit late. Go down to the field for the call.
We have a dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Still 3rd down.
All right, so the 5-yard penalty will still be 3rd down, excuse me.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty. That'll bring up 3rd and 22.
So 3rd and 22 now for the Presidents as they come to the line. Again, 4 receivers set with the Castro in the backfield, Boyle in the shotgun.
You have to expect Boyle to air it out on this one, 3rd and 22.
Boyle calling signals at the line there. Looks to pass and hits Hazelhurst. Hazelhurst drops it, though. Went through his hands. Couldn't bring it in with that wet and muddy ball. So it's going to bring up a 4th and long now for the Presidents. Fourth and 22 now. We're in the second quarter. 8:17 left to go here in the first half. Still scoreless.
You know, Quincy's having a tough time putting something together. The run game's working for them, but when they get close enough to strike, it's just tough to put something together.
All right, again, a 4 receiver set. The Castro in the back and next to Boyle. 4th and 22 for the Presidents. They're going to be going for it. Boyle back to pass, being pursued out of the pocket. Looks down his right, throws downfield, and it is tipped there and almost intercepted. And after Benson Luke tipped it, it went through the hands there. Number 33, Camilo Arendando for the Presidents, falls incomplete. So the Raiders are able to hold the Presidents. So they're going to take over on downs.
Yeah, that's a great play by Benson Luke. He was an honorable mention All-Star, and that was an All-Star play right there he just made in the backfield.
Ball spotted at the 32-yard line of North Quincy. 1st and 10 Raiders.
All right, so the Red Raiders are going to take over now at the Quincy High School 32-yard line. Split backfield, and they give it to Tufo, and Tufo goes nowhere. He's met there. Coming up there for the Presidents was DJ Andrews, as well as for the Presidents was Chaz Mungelsing.
45 for Tufo on the carry.
And North Quincy's trying to get the run game going. They've thrown the ball. They've thrown the ball their first couple of possessions, and now they're going to try to get the run game going.
All right, they're going to say it was a loss of 1 on the play, so bring up a 2nd down and 11 now. 7:30 left to go in the half now. Raiders come to the line. They show an I formation. 2 receivers to the right of Omani. The pitch now to Jackson. Runs over to the right. Crosses the 30 to the 35. Still on his feet down to the 40-yard line. Nice run there by Danny Jackson. Big gain there on 2nd down.
That's just what North Quincy needs to get some momentum going, and Danny Jackson is trying to get something going, and he just did it right there in that play.
3rd down and 2 now. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line, just shy of the 40-yard line. So I said 3rd and 2. Both teams still sticking it out down the field here. Just a little bit too wet to get the passing game in a smooth and effective manner.
Danny Jackson is determined to have a nice running game today.
Omani now under center. Tufo and Jackson in the backfield. And we have flags on the play. Go down to our referee for the call.
We have a dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Still 3rd down.
So a North Quincy false start is going to penalize them 5 yards. So we'll bring up 3rd and 7 now.
And the name of this game has been penalties, John. It's every time a team tries to put something together, there's been a penalty on the play. Just about 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Omani hands it off to Tufo, and Tufo was met there right at the line of scrimmage there. Looked like he was met by Arendando, but he was able to put his head down, put his shoulders down, pick up a couple yards on the play. Ball spotted now at the 39-yard line.
Arendando just met him and just brought him down real quick. As we mentioned, you don't want Chris Tufo to get into the backfield because he is an explosive running back.
4th and 4 now. Raiders going to be punting the ball away. DeCastro and McDonald back to receive the kick. DeCastro stands at his 30-yard line, and McDonald stands at his 43-yard line. Just going to let it bounce past him. Goes all the way back now to the 15-yard line where he picks it up. Gets to the 20 now, spins away from one tackle, but can't get away from the other. And coming up there for the tackle for the Red Raiders was number 54.
That was a beautiful kick.
Yeah, Regan was down there on the coverage and was able to make the tackle. So a great kick there by Anthony Black, the punter for the Red Raiders. And Quincy's going to be deep in their own territory starting this drive.
Just about 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Both teams still scoreless. It definitely has filled up down here, John, at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, it certainly has as the game has gone on. A lot more people have come into the stadium, so good to see a good full crowd here on Thanksgiving Day. They hand it off now to DeCastro. DeCastro breaks a couple of my tackles and almost broke free there. He's going to get all the way up now to the to the 30-yard line, and a great run there by DeCastro. A late flag is thrown on the play.
It'll be interesting to see what the penalty is on this.
It's going to be a personal foul against the Red Raiders. We'll have to see exactly what the call is. Go down to the field now for the call.
We have a dead ball foul, personal foul, automatic first down.
So a personal foul is called against the Red Raiders, and it's going to be a 15-yard penalty and, more importantly, an automatic first down.
Now, John, was it last year that they gave the players numbers when they called the penalties like that?
Yeah, they have been doing that on occasion. Different referees, some give numbers, some don't. But it looked like over there, I'm not sure if it was Rob Connell or not, who was over in the area, and I'm not sure. It looked like it was way after the play had ended, and I'm not sure if someone down in the North Quincy sidelines had something to say or whatever it might have been. But either way, it's a 15-yard penalty.
That's tough for North Quincy. These penalties, are hurting both teams, but more so right now, North Quincy.
So 1st and 10 now. Hazelhurst in motion. And it's going to be a trap play back to Hazelhurst. And he's going to get to the 50-yard line over now to the North Quincy 49-yard line where he was met and brought down there. So Quincy crosses the 50-yard line, gets to the North 49.
Quincy's put together a nice little drive here. They were started at their own 20.
2nd down and a long 4 to go now.
They're trying to put some points on the board before this quarter is over.
Three receivers in the slot now to the left of Boyle, and Boyle's going to call a timeout. He looked over to the right and saw Coach Noble, who was trying to get his attention, call a timeout. And looked like Coach Noble saw something on the North Quincy defense that wasn't going to make that play work.
And Coach Noble not taking any chances at all. Didn't hesitate to call that timeout.
4:18 left to go here in the second quarter. Still tied at 0 here for the 73rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game between the Quincy Presidents and the North Quincy Red Raiders. My name's Jonathan Caleri, being joined by Matt McLaughlin here in the booth.
John, it appears the rain has let up a little bit. I'm looking down into the puddles, not seeing too many raindrops falling down, so that could be good news for the players, but the damage is already done on the field.
Yeah, certainly. It's certainly a wet field still. Pitch to the Castro, and he gets across the 50 and jumps his way forward and leaps his way forward to the 45-yard line. They're going to say you get across to the 44 maybe, and he's going to be very close to a first down. We'll see where they actually spot the ball. You're going to spot it at the 45, looks like.
It's going to be about 3rd and inches. A short one, they're going to call that. So it'll be interesting to see who they give the ball here to, whether it be Hazelhurst or DeCastro. And the replay here, you can see ball drops back, is it to DeCastro, and he just plows his way through.
And right there at the very end there, he kind of leaped forward to pick up a couple extra yards there. Boyle's going to keep it.
In.
And big run there by Matt Boyle. He's going to pick up 4 or 5 yards on that play, and they have the first down easily. He gets all the way to the 40-yard line, so a 5-yard gain on 3rd and short.
That's a nice play call right there. Give it to Castro a little bit of a rest, and Boyle can do the same job.
was a quick play, too. You know, they didn't waste any time. They got to the line, bang, quick snap, and try to catch the Red Raiders sleeping a little bit there, and they pick up the first down. You can see on your screen there a nice shot of the crowd that's come in. That's on the home side of the field here. The Presidents are the designated home team here this year. Nice work by cameraman John Mercurio down on the field. So 1st and 10 now from the 40 for the Presidents. McDonald goes in motion. Give it to the Castro. He runs over to the right. And he's going to pick up 3 or 4 yards on that play where he was met and brought down there. Chris Tufo is over there, as well as Benson Luke. For North Quincy, Jade Peener also over there.
DeCastro is putting together a great first half of football here, and if he continues this, it's going to be a tough. As you can see in the replay right here, DeCastro. I mean, it just takes a lot to get that kid down.
Steve Spring was also on that tackle there. Look, he made the hit that brought him DeCastro finally down. Second down and 7 ball at the 37-yard line. Coming up on 2 minutes and a half. All right, and looks like the Presidents are going to be forced to call timeout. Looks like they took a little bit too long to come out of the huddle, and Coach Noble realized that they were going to get a delay of game penalty called against them. So the Presidents call a timeout and stop the clock and make sure they don't lose 5 yards on that play.
Coach Noble always very aware of what's going on in the football field.
See on the North Quincy sidelines there filled in. All right, Presidents come to the line now. 2:06 left to go in the half. DeCastro in the backfield behind Boyle. Hazelhurst now in motion. Fake the handoff, look to passes. Boyle looks down the field, and it is caught there. Nice catch there by Matt Giordani. He fell down on the ground, but is able to pick himself back up and make the catch all the way down at the 15-yard line.
That is a great catch, John. He was on the slide on that catch, and that is just great to bring that ball down.
We're going to see in the replay here, it's a nice fake by Boyle, and right there you're going to see Giordani fall, stays on his knees, and makes the catch at the 15.
That's great. Hope someone's taping the game for that kid. That's going to be a nice play to look back at.
So 1st and 15 now for the Presidents. The clock winds down, 1:50 left to go. Full house backfield now with Stroud and also Andrews in the backfield. They give it to DeCastro, and he is tripped up there. Nice job there. Looks like it was Chris Tufo on the tackle.
Yeah, Chris Tufo knows what it takes to bring back down a running back because he is one of those himself, as you can see here in the replay. He just gets in and just trips up DeCastro.
Did a nice job there of breaking right through the two fullbacks there of Stroud and Andrews. Went right between them and brought down DeCastro for a loss.
But 1 minute and 38 seconds left here, John, in the second quarter. And Quincy would definitely like to go in this with a 7-0 lead in the first half.
So the Presidents call timeout there. It's going to bring a 2nd down and 13 from the 18-yard line. Presidents have had a couple of long, sustained drives here. The first drive was in the end of the second quarter, beginning of the second quarter, and they were able to get down to the 35-yard line of the North Quincy High School, where the drive stalled. They had a 4th and 22, and an incomplete pass fell down to the ground, and North took over there. And now North Quincy comes up to this drive. Quincy comes up to this drive. This is their 7th play of the drive. Started all the way back at their own 22-yard line, and they're now at the 18.
Yeah, as you mentioned, now this is a great drive put together by Quincy to get some points on the board. Started off at their own 22, and they march all the way down the field to the 18th.
So now full house backfield, Stroud, Andrews, and DeCastro. They fake the hand up to DeCastro. Hazelhurst down in the end zone, and it is broken up there by Benson Luke. Great play there by Benson Luke to break up a possible touchdown catch there for the Presidents.
John, Benson Luke, that's his second big play of the day, and he's definitely bringing it tonight in the backfield.
DeCastro on the fake handoff was able to break free a little, get past these safeties, and Luke with his quick speed was able to recover quickly and break up that play. So the President's threatening on that play, but it's broken up there. So it's going to bring a 3rd and 13 now from the 18-yard line. 1:32 left to go in the half.
You mentioned Benson Luke was an honorable mention to the All-Star team. With the way he's playing today, he should be starting.
All right, 5 receivers now for the Presidents. Boyle in the shotgun by himself. Arendano goes in motion. And they're going to give it to Arendano in the backfield. He crosses the 20, and he's going to be met there. Big tackle there by Terrence Sibley of the Red Raiders to make the initial hit.
Yeah, everywhere he looked, there were white jerseys, and that's just a tough spot to be in. Arendano did the best he could, but just couldn't break free.
Looked like also over there was Guerriero. We're going to see in the replay here, you can see Camilo Arendano go in motion. Boyle draws the defender, and he's going to get to the 18-yard line. Right there is actually it was Akil Benjamin who made the initial hit.
And not much Arendano could do right there.
All right, so they lose a yard. 4th and 14 now. The President's going for it. 50 seconds left to go in the half. 4 receivers. Boyle in the shotgun. DeCastro next to him. And it's a bad snap. Gets away from him. And the Presidents are going to be sacked way back past the 30-yard line, the 32-yard line. And it looked like coming up there for the big hit for the Red Raiders was Dave Guerriero.
Yeah, that's all Boyle wants to do after the bad snap. Just get on top of that ball. You don't want to lose it because there were no blue jerseys in the backfield. I'm sorry, there were no blue jerseys around Boyle. As you can see in the replay here, he did a great job to hold on to that ball. Because if North take that, that's 6 all the way.
Great defensive stand by the Raiders. 1 minute to go in the first half.
All right, so it's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Red Raiders. After that big defensive stand, 2 drives in a row, they've had turnover on downs for the Presidents.
And Quincy did put a nice drive together on that possession, but they just couldn't convert.
1st and 10 now from the 33-yard line for the Red Raiders. Omani under center. Going back to pass, being pressured, gets it away, and it is incomplete there. Big hit there by John Brooks.
And that is an enormous hit by John Brooks. And who was that on?
I can't tell if it might
The
have been,
jersey's all chewed up.
looks like it.
He looks very shaken up on that play. That was just a stick by John Brooks.
Looks like it might be Craig Peralt. Can't really tell. There was a late flag thrown on the play.
And
Now the hit was clean and legal there because it was going for the ball, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure if there was an excessive celebration
We got
afterwards.
dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
All right, so it's unsportsmanlike conduct. So it looked like it might have been a little bit more excessive celebration there. We're going to see in the replay here. You can see Omani goes back to pass, and right there, a big hit there by John Brooks.
John Brooks, that's primetime hit right there.
So 1st and 10, 15-yard penalty, ball now at the 47-yard line. Monty back to pass again. Looks over the middle, and it's through the hands of Sean McBrien.
Now Brooks looks a little shooken up on the next play. He's limping a little bit, and that hit might have taken a lot out of him too.
Yeah, you make the initial hit and get the adrenaline pumping, and then
Yeah,
all of a
you
sudden
feel
the
it
next
the next
play.
play.
Yeah.
You'll feel that. You'll feel it tomorrow morning too. Appears to be I'd say his right knee actually.
Just under 30 seconds left to go. 29 seconds left to go here in the first half. 2 slot receivers and 2 receivers for the Red Raiders. Omani back to passes. Pump fakes. Now looks downfield, and it's incomplete. Went through the hands there of Benson Luke, and Everton DeCastro was there for the hit as well.
Quincy is just laying some nice hits on this series.
And we've been seeing the past couple plays here, when you're trying to catch the ball just with your hands here today, the ball is just too wet and too muddy, and everyone's hands are wet and muddy as well, and it's just going right through them.
Yeah, you got to bring that ball right into your jersey and just wrap it up with your hands. There are 2 ways to catch, John. You can catch with your hands, you can catch it with your body, and today is definitely the kind of time you want to catch with your body and just bring that ball in.
3rd and 10 now. President's blitz. Ball's down on the ground. North Quincy did recover the ball, though. Looked like it was a center quarterback exchange there. But North recovers. Ball spotted back at the 45-yard line. So it's going to be a loss of 2 on the play. And it looks like that's going to be the final play of the half. And we are scoreless here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Scoreless tie, 0-0. 73rd Annual Thanksgiving Day football game. Both teams showing a lot of heart out there, not wanting the other team to score, wanting to try to get first on the board. And as we mentioned, Matt, at the end of this half, a lot of big hits for the Presidents on the Red Raiders. But we've seen some big hits for the Red Raiders, too,
Oh, definitely.
on the President's side of the ball.
And I think Quincy wants to just come out second half, just keep doing the same thing they're doing, and the same for North. I mean, North's hanging in there with Quincy. I mean, everyone thought Quincy was going to come in and just take this game, but that hasn't been the case here today, John.
Going off the field, Coach Noble is extremely upset with a couple of the referees, possibly on some of those last calls at the end of the half. But real quick, a recap of this half. North Quincy had the ball 4 times. They punted a couple times, and they had an end of the half there that caught up with them. The Presidents had the ball 3 times. They had 1 punt, and they turned the ball over on downs twice. So, again, 0-0 is the score here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. While it's 0-0, there has been a lot of action on the field here for both
Certainly
teams.
has been, John. It's definitely been an action-packed first half, and we definitely have a ball game on our hands.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break here on Quincy Access TV, and we're going to be back here with the second half action after this break here at halftime. Again, 0-0 is our score. And it's a pitch to Tufo again, running to the left. He has the first down, finds a little open space, running to the right, and crosses the 30, and finally brought down at the 20-yard line. Chris Tufo with a big run there, and North Quincy's in business there in the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Got to execute here, John.
Quincy's been big on 4th down here tonight. Boyle goes back to pass. Looking to his left, looking to his right now. Rolls to his right, still looking. Downfield, wide open, and is caught there by Giordani, and he's going to run in for the touchdown. Second down and short now. Presidents get to the Castro. He has the first down and more. He goes up to the middle, gets to the 20, to the 15. He's still on his feet, down to the 10. And the Castro's just bringing Warrior players with him wherever he goes. He was initially hit at the 20-yard line, and 10 yards later, he is finally brought down. And in motion, Coffey's going to get sacked there by North Quincy, and big sack there by Mike Regan of the Red Raiders to come in. In motion goes Benson Loop, and going to hand off to Tufo. Tufo runs to the left tackle, and nice run by Tufo across the 45, and now to the 50, and to the 40, 35-yard line. Great stiff arm there at the 45-yard line, picking an extra 10 yards. Down goes in motion. It's a pitch to the Castro to the right side. He goes up the sideline. He crosses the 45 to the 50. Gets to the 45, and he's brought down now at the 41-yard line. Going in motion is Stroud. Gives to the Castro. He's going to run behind Stroud to the right. He goes across the 30 to the 25 to the 20. A man to beat. He gets down to the 10, into the 5, and he's going to be down at about the 4-yard line.
2nd and 9.
He goes back to pass. He's getting rushed out of the pocket. He's second. He fumbles the ball. And recovering there is North Quincy. Presidents in running formation here. The Castro in the backfield. It's a pitch to the Castro. He runs to the right, gets to the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. At the North 6-yard line again with the full house backfield. They give to the Castro. He goes up the middle, and he spins in, and he's in for the touchdown. A last-second spin there by Everton to Castro. Got him in for 6 points. Works wide right, goes in motion now. It's going to be a pitch to the Castro, running to the right, gets to the 5, and he goes in for the touchdown. Boyle keeps on the option, and he finally gets to the Castro now. The Castro has it to 10, goes to the 5, he dives for the end zone, see if he got in, and he does. He goes in for the touchdown. Everton to Castro, his 4th running touchdown here tonight.
It's a big 4th down play, John.
All right, Red Raiders go for it. Monty back to pass, rolls to his right. He passes, and it's caught there by Benson Luke. He gets the first down, and he goes in for the touchdown. North Quincy, a big drive here. They are back in this ball game. It's a snap, looking to pass over to the right, and it is intercepted by North Quincy High. Man in the backfield, and in motion. Back to pass, and he's hit there and sacked.
Looks like it was Chris Pratt, the captain.
And big muck there. Quincy might have a safety, and they do. Big safety there for the Presidents. Behind Boyle, going to pitch to the Castro, runs to the left, and he's going to have some open room. He goes to the 30 to 25-20, and he's brought down there at the 20-yard line. Red Raiders come to the line, 3:19 left to go in the game. Omani back to pass, he throws down the middle to Luke, and Luke catches it. And again, a big hit, but he stays on his feet, and he goes down to the 45-yard line. Benson Luke will not go down. All right, Omani under center. He gives it to Tufo, runs to the right, and he's in for the touchdown. North Quincy gets on the board.
Brings up a 3rd down.
All right, and back to pass, and he's going to get sacked there by the Presidents. Moreau's in the backfield, and they're going to give it to him. He spins off and try to cut into the touchdown. He can't do it, and the Presidents just roll him back all the way to the 10-yard line. De Castro back to kick, and nice kick by De Castro. Downfield, there's Chris McDonald. He's going to try to down it within the 1-yard line, and let's see if he did. Yes, he did. Presidents need a win if they want to stay in the title hunt. And Giordani takes the snap. He is open in the backfield, and it's a touchdown to Chris McDonald. He was wide open in the back of the end zone. And he's going to pass, and it's intercepted by the Presidents. And it looks like it was Jim Akins who came up there and made the pickoff. Monty under center. Back to pass, and he releases and hits Guerriero, and Guerriero has the first down and more, and he breaks free, crosses the 50 to 45, 40, and finally brought down at the 35-yard line. They spread it out. Boyle goes back to pass.
Almost fumbled.
He looks deep, looking for Brooks, and it is caught by Brooks, and almost broke a tackle there, but big catch there by number 81, John Brooks for the Presidents.
10 men up, going after it. They get there, and they block it.
And Guerriero got a hand on it. And
Big 4th down play, 4th and 14.
4 receivers, and De Castro in the backfield. Boyle in the shotgun. Takes a step back, and he throws it deep, looking for Hazelhurst, and Hazelhurst makes a great catch there at the 10-yard line. He saw exactly where he was, and he tiptoed to stay in there, and Quincy picks up a big first down.
What execution there.
Monty under center. Takes the snap, back to pass, throws it long, and hits Blyler. Blyler bounces off the hit. He crosses the 40 to the 30, 25, 20. One man to beat. Down to the 10, 5, and let's see if he got in for the touchdown. I think his knees went down at the 1-yard line. Boyle has it, and he's going to give it to De Castro over the left tackle. He breaks free, and he's going to get across to the 10, and now he's down to the 5. Nice job by Everton De Castro, breaking tackles, spinning off the Wilmington Panthers, and picking up another President's first down. Omani back to pass, looks over the middle to Benson, and it is caught, and he goes to the 5, and in for the touchdown, Benson.
Great individual effort by Luke.
Approaching the center of the field are the captains of the respective squads.
Hey, okay, hey, that was a great first half, guys, okay? Everybody's playing good hard football. Come on in closer, buddy. Come on in closer here, you guys. Now listen, this is a great game, all right? Don't screw it up with any kind of silly talking back and forth or jumping up and down after you make a tackle. Okay, you make a tackle, nice hit. Just keep it to football, okay, please? We already saw 3 or 4 15s for stupid things, okay? You don't want those stupid things to impact the end of the game. It's a 0-0 game. A stupid 15-yard penalty can make it. So keep your mouth shut. Play good, hard football. After the game, you're going to be friends. So don't be jerks to each other, okay? I know. Let's go. Come on, guys. All right. We got Quincy. Your option. You want the ball. Which goal do you want to defend? Put your backs that way. Quincy right up here. All right, we're going to start the second half. Quincy will receive at the south goal. Shake hands, guys. Right here. Let's have a great second half. Come on, work hard, guys. You're the captains. Take control it. Come on, expect your captains to control it.
Quincy will kick off and defend the south goal. The Presidents will receive and defend the north goal for this second half.
Welcome back to second half coverage of the 73rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game between the Quincy Presidents and North Quincy Red Raiders. My name is Jonathan Caleri. I'm being joined by Matt McLaughlin. And Matt, it was an outstanding first half. We were tied at 0.
It most certainly was, John. It was a defensive first half, and hopefully we see some offense this second half.
Everyone stayed on the ground because of the conditions. However, as halftime was ending, the sun has come out here, and it's trying to break through for a little bit more permanent second half action here. So we're going to go down to the field here for the kickoff, and it's going to be an exciting second half of action here. Both teams, like I mentioned, sticking to the ground with their running game, and we're going to see if we have any more passing action beginning here in the second half.
Yeah, John, the middle of the field, it seems to be drying up a little bit. That it looked a lot worse at the start of the game, and the sun might have an effect on that, and we'll see if it has any change for the players.
All right, Quincy is going to defend the south goal, the north goal. So same sides of the field as we had.
Deep to receive for the President. Number 22, Matthew Adani, and number 26, Evan DeCastro.
Giordani and DeCastro back to receive.
Kicking off for the Raiders will be number 12, Anthony Black. Correction is Tufo, number 30.
All right, it's an onside kick, and North might have it.
North has that.
Onside kick.
Not sure. Actually, Quincy did recover
Quincy
there.
has it. That was number 24, Brian Smith, the senior. Caught me off guard, John.
Yeah, it certainly didn't. Look like the Presidents were caught off guard as well. Certainly didn't expect an onside kick there to begin the second half of action here. But the Presidents do recover it, and it looked like it was Tufo who did the kicking off there on that kickoff. And he kicked it perfect onside kick, and he had a great opportunity to recover it, but he just missed it.
Yeah, Bill Shaughnessy, the head coach of North, really rolled the dice on that one. It's a risky play call to the onside kick, and now Quincy has pretty decent field position to start this drive.
All right, so Quincy's first drive of the second half. 1st and 10 now from the 44. They give it to DeCastro, and he runs over the left side. He gets across to the 50-yard line, and he's still on his feet. He keeps going, and he goes down to the 45-yard line. A great run there by Everton DeCastro.
DeCastro's just doing the same thing he did the first half. He is just a powerhouse runner. He fights for that yard. And as we mentioned, John, those yards adds up. As you can see here in the replay, he's just going to power through. He makes his own holes. And you can see 1, 2, 3 North Quincy players trying to bring him down, and it just wasn't happening.
All right, so 1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line. DeCastro in the backfield, 3 receivers to the left slot. Boyle under center, gives it to DeCastro again. DeCastro gets to the 40, and he's hit and brought down there. Forward progress will be at the 40-yard line, no. And there on the tackle, looked like it was Akil Benjamin for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, Akil Benjamin has had a solid day of tackling and bringing down DeCastro.
So a 5-yard gain there. 2nd down and 5 now. Just put the same formation again for the Presidents. This time it's going to be a trap play to Hazelhurst. Hazelhurst is going to get now to the 35-yard line. Ball down at the 34. So another first down for the Presidents, it's going to look like.
Yeah, it's the second time they've run that trap for Hazelhurst, and in the second time, that time, much more successful than the first, and it was good for a first down.
In the first half, the Red Raiders had 40 yards of offense, and the Presidents had 89 yards of offense. So not too much offense there. There was the one big drive for the Presidents. It was a 60-yard drive, and it stalled there when they had a 4th down and 14, and that's when it ended.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that was a great drive put together by Quincy.
All right, so pitch to DeCastro this time. He runs to the left, gets across to the 35, 30-yard line. So another 5-yard gain there for DeCastro. And the Presidents are moving the ball quickly down the field here to begin the second half.
Yeah, Joe, that was a great block by DJ Andrews on Gizzarelli on North. DJ just put his shoulder pads down and just took him out at the knees and created about 3 more yards for DeCastro on that run. So it's the small things that seem to add up for this Quincy defense, and they should be very credited, not just DeCastro, but the linemen. They're creating holes for DeCastro to have this great day so far.
All right, sun is coming out here now at the stadium. A little more blue sky here than had when we began the game. All right, ball is fumbled on the ground, and Matt Boyle's going to pick it up. He had the ball and was trying to hand it off there. It looked like to Chris Ryan McDonald, and Boyle could not get a good grip on it. Ball fell on the ground, but he jumped on it quickly.
As you can see here in the replay, yeah, Boyle just jumps on top. That's all you want to do if you're Boyle. You forget about that, and you just get on top of that ball. That's your only concern, is to bring that ball into your body and not let North Quincy take it from you.
So it's going to be a 3rd down and a long 6 for the Presidents now. Presidents have been deep in the Red Raiders territory twice here today, but they haven't been unable to capitalize. It's a pitch to the Castro to the left, and he's going to get maybe 1 yard on the play to the 30-yard line there, where he was driven out of bounds there. Keel Benjamin was over there. Benson Luke. Dave Guerrero was over there as well. You can see in the replay here also Anthony Black came up there from his position there, and you can see the Castro right into our camera position there and gets a yard on that play.
Camera guys, to be careful down there, John.
Good work down there by John Mercurio, our sideline camera. Not afraid to get the camera right in the action there. So a 4th down and 6 now for the Presidents. Quick snap, Boyle rolls out, looks downfield for Giordani. He's wide open, and he catches it, and he's going to go down to the 1 yard line where he is brought down there. A big first down there. It was a 4th and 6. Matt Giordani was able to break out, get down, and it was a perfect pass thrown by Matt Boyle.
Yeah, Gio, that's his second big reception of the day, and that was just magnificent to go down. He was wide open. He had about 3 or 4 steps in his defender and just made the catch and brought it down to about the 1 or 2 yard line.
All right, they spot the ball at the 2 yard line where his knee went down. So 1st and goal now from the 2. The Presidents are in business here. Full house backfield we've seen a couple times here today with Stroud, Andrews, and DeCastro. They give it to DeCastro. He runs over to the left, and he's in for the touchdown. The Presidents get on the board here. They get the kickoff and march down the field 56 yards for the touchdown.
That was a great play of the defensive line, John. They just held their blocks, and DeCastro had an easy hole to get into the end zone.
So the onside kick attempt there, was, as you said, it was a risky play there by Coach Bill Shaughnessy, and it almost worked. However, the Presidents recovered at their 44, and they run the ball down the field. They get to the 30-yard line, a 4th and 6, and it was a big 28-yard pass there from Boyle to Giordani, set up that touchdown run.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Bill Shaughnessy really did roll the dice on that onside kick, but that's what Thanksgiving's all about, John. You take chances. You know, North Quincy has gone for it on 4th down, and Quincy has gone for it on 4th down twice in their own end zone. I'm sorry, in their own north, about 20-yard line. So they're really rolling the dice here today.
All right, DeCastro to do the kicking, and the good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is good. So DeCastro with the extra point makes it 7-0 with 7:54 left to go in the 3rd quarter. We're going to see the touchdown run here, Matt, on the replay.
Yeah, if you watch, they just make a nice little block. They make nice holes, and Pat Stroud he just makes a nice block right there.
Yeah, the full house backfield is certainly meant for that short yardage situation down there. And as you said, with Stroud and Andrews leading the way, DeCastro had an easy touchdown run there. So 7-0 is our score now. Here in the 3rd quarter, the Presidents get the ball in the 2nd half and march right down the field. There was 8 plays, 56 yards for the touchdown.
Just about 8 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter, and Quincy is on the board. Now it's pretty much been a game of matching whatever North has done defensively, Quincy has done, and we'll have to see if North can match this offensively and put 7 up on the board.
Kicking off for the Presidents, number 26, Everton DeCastro. Deep to receive for the Raiders, number 7, Sean McBrien, and number 24, Benson Luke.
All right, Presidents get ready to kick the ball off now. Benson Luke is back to receive along with Sean McBrien.
DeCastro must have taken a nap at halftime. I know I would have. He's been busy today.
All right, good kickoff, and it's field. It goes between the 2 defenders. Ball is live, and it's going to be a touchback there. It went right between Luke and Sean McBrien, and luckily it didn't touch either of them. And the ball goes all the way back into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, more of a line drive kick, and also tend to do that. They're tough to catch, and they're tough to read, too. North did catch a break there, having that ball go in for a touchback, because that could have spelled trouble if it just died right there in maybe the 5-yard line. That could have been trouble.
Yeah, they would have been pinned back deep in their own territory, and certainly.
And they have the ball. I believe John's going to be spotted right around the 16-yard line in North Quincy territory.
Ball will be spotted on the 16-yard line of the Raiders.
See in the
As you can
replay.
see in the replay. Let's see who comes up with it.
Stroud was over there, and it looked like coming up with a ball there was Captain Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Pratt just took the ball, and that was that. So Quincy with another chance to put 7 more up on the board, and we'll have to see if they take full advantage of this.
These are the opportunities that North Quincy didn't want to give Quincy. It's a trap play to Hazelhurst. Hazelhurst gets to the 10-yard line, and where he is brought down. We've seen that trap play a couple times here today, and each time the Presidents have run it, it has worked extremely well.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's what Hazelhurst is saying right now, and that trap play just seems to be working for Quincy. It's an easy gain of 6 or 7 maybe. Look at a gain of 6, now 2nd and 4.
So as you said, 2nd and 4, 7 minutes and 15 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Presidents deep in Red Raiders territory at the 10-yard line. You can see Boyle there on your screen under center. And we're going to have a false start there. Looks like Dan Neenan jumped. Going onto the field for the call.
We have a dead ball foul. False start. Repeat the second down. Second down.
That'll bring up 2nd and 9.
Yeah, Dan Neenan, you won't be seeing him making too many penalties. He's not that kind of football player. It's probably just a little mental mistake.
Getting a little too anxious out there, the Presidents.
So that brings the ball back to the 15-yard line. 2nd and 9.
They give it to the Castro now. Castro runs over to the left. He gets across the 10, gets those 5 yards back very quick. And he's going to get all the way down to the 8-yard line.
And those are the kind of things that Castro will do. He will just create his own hole. I mean, it sounds like an echo in here, John. I've said this all day, but he just creates holes and finds them.
Yeah, the Castro is certainly quick to get to that hole, and as soon as he sees it, he explodes through it and is able to pick up positive yardage.
I mean, it's not hard to see why he had 1,100 yards on the season and 8 touchdowns.
So 3rd and 2 now, a long 2 now for the Presidents. Ball's at the 8-yard line. Give to the Castro, gets to the 5, spins it off, and he dives in for the touchdown. Everton to Castro, his 2nd touchdown here.
He just powers himself through, breaks through 2 tackles, I believe. It was a definite broke 1 tackle. It could have been 2. He just powers himself into the end zone.
DeCastro spun off 2 tackles there. His legs got tied up and it looked like the 3-yard line, and he just dove in for the end zone. We're going to see on the replay here.
You can see just breaks through 1 tackle, 2 tackles, and just dives.
So he dives in for the end zone. You can see he was wrapped up, and he just put one last effort into it for the 6 points. All right, DeCastro to get the kicking duties once again. McDonald will be holding. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. So with the extra point, it is now 14-0, and the Presidents on top. And with 6:05 left to go, the Presidents have come out quickly here in the second half.
And DeCastro has all 14 of these points. Normally it would just be 12, but he's kicking the ball too.
So after the Chris Tufo fumble there, it was a nice job by Pat Stroud to knock that ball loose, it looked like from our vantage point. 4 plays later, Quincy goes in for another touchdown after the PAT is 14-0.
You know, the momentum is all on Quincy's side, and North has to fight back to bring that momentum back to the even advantage over there in the field. We are seeing some blue skies down here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. The clouds are lifting and the sun's trying to poke through, and it appears the rain has definitely stopped.
Yep, the rain has stopped, but it's certainly got a little bit colder down on the field and all around. All right, President's ready to kick off again.
I'm getting tired just watching DeCastro. That's a lot of work. I don't know how you practice to do that.
To receive for the Raiders, number 7, John McBride, and number 24, Benson Luke.
Then a line drive kick.
Yeah, Luke's going to field it now at the 15-yard line, runs up the middle, and he is stuck there.
I believe
Looked like it was Pratt.
Yeah, it might have been Chris Pratt on that.
Yeah, and it was Chris Pratt, gets right at the bottom of the pile. He made the hit there on Benson Luke at the 25-yard line.
Chris Pratt, just a natural athlete. He's a wrestler for Quincy High, and he really got the job done right there on that one. North's going to have the ball right around their own 25. Just about 6 minutes left to go in this third quarter.
Omani back to pass, and it is, let's see if it's caught, and it looks like it is caught there. Coming up there was Benson Luke with the catch. Ball's going to go down to the 33-yard line.
And that was Jim Akins on the cover. And what do? You just beat your man and you run inside on the slant. As you can see there, he just runs inside of him. And you get about 2-3 steps in your defender, and that's an easy catch to make.
Excellent catch there as well. Omani threw it where only Luke was going to catch it, and Luke slid down to make the catch.
Yeah, you can tell that's been something that's been practiced over and over and over again.
And it certainly makes it a lot easier when the field is full of mud there. You can slide a lot easier,
yeah.
too. All right, timeout was called down the field by North Quincy. Want to mention at this time, if you're interested in when this game will be replayed on Quincy Access Television, log on to QATV's website at www.qatv.org for all the replay information of the 73rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game. Again, qatv.org. As the fall season comes to a close here, Matt, QATV will also be covering a lot of winter sports, including basketball and hockey for both Quincy and North Quincy High School. So we encourage everyone to come out and support those teams at the rink and at the courts. And also, if you can't get down there, watch QATV's coverage after the game has been held, too.
Definitely. It should be a promising season for both North and Quincy High.
Second down and 3 now for the Red Raiders. I formation. They're going to give it to Tufo. He runs over to the left side, over the left tackle. And he gets to the 35, maybe to the 36. He's going to be very close to a first down. We'll see if he gets a friendly spot. And it looks like they're going to measure it here.
Will be an official timeout for measurement.
Looks like the Red Raiders are all sporting the Mohawks, something they did a few years ago as a team. And hopefully those Mohawks can get something going here.
I can see there on the screen, and it looks like it's going to be just shy, a couple of links shy of the first down.
Yeah, just a few inches shy.
And you can see the referee there. He's picking it up, and he is very close to the end of the chain. So you can see the rain has stopped here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. As we mentioned at the beginning of the game, it was raining pretty heavily, and then it slowly started to stop and slower, and then finally at halftime, or actually about beginning of the second quarter, it stopped, and now a little bit more blue sky, out and about here around Quincy and over Veterans Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a very nice afternoon, John.
All right, ball's at 36, and it's going to be third and less than 1 to go. I formation now for the Raiders. Presidents show blitz, they do. They give it to Tufo, and I'm not sure if Tufo got it or not. He was hit there by Mike Neenan. Also over there was one of the captains, Chris Pratt. And It looks like he's going to be short again, but they're going to measure it to be sure.
A lot of measuring going on here.
All right, so the chain gang comes out onto the field now.
I think it's still going to be short.
And they lost yardage on that play.
Yeah,
there.
definitely lost the yard.
That'll bring up fourth down, 2 inches away.
Not that they lost much on that play, but they lost just a little bit more. So it's going to be 4th and inches still from the 36.
This is going to be a big play right here, John.
All right, so North Quincy comes to the line. Big play here for the Red Raiders. 4th and inches to go at the 36-yard line.
It's going to be a big play for North Quincy's offense on a great defense of Quincy.
And it's going to be quarterback keeper, and it's still going to be very close.
It is going to be close. They might have it, I think. It depends on if you get a friendly spot or not. Yeah, and you can't forget about the forward progress, too.
And they have the first down. They only needed a couple of inches, Matt, and they might have gotten an inch or two more than they needed there, but that's all that counts. They pick up the first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 37.
Yeah, no, that's what North Quincy needs. They need to get some momentum going and try and put a drive together here. As you can see in the replay here, you know, it's just a big pile up, and it looks like he's brought down for a loss, but you can't forget about the forward progress.
Yeah, Chris Pratt came up there on the initial stick and was able to push Omani back. And they met right at the first down marker. Omani just got enough to get the first down. So the Raiders come to the line now. Omani back to pass, looks downfield, and is going to be complete down the field there. Pass is complete to number 12, Anthony Black, at the 45-yard line. We'll see where he stepped out of bounds. Stepped out of bounds at the 46.
Yeah, and Omani had great protection. You can credit his offensive line for that. Plenty of time to throw that ball.
All right, we're going to have another measurement here. All right, we're going to see in the replay here the pass. Omani faked the handoff to Tufo, and right there you can see the catch by Black, and he stepped out of bounds just at the first down marker. So we're going to have another replay right in front of the Quincy bench.
Yeah, Ben Johnson and Phil Kelly and Carlos Okaya, the captain, they did great to hold the blocks in the offensive line right there. As we mentioned, so often the offensive linemen do not get credit, but really those are what win games, to give the quarterback protection and comfort in the pocket, and it makes for a good throw.
All right, it's going to be 2nd down and probably about the length of a football.
2nd down in inches for the Raiders.
So the officials are going to bring the ball out to the field and spot it. John Magnarelli, our head referee here today. And you could hear him at halftime. He told both the captains for both teams, you know, this has been a great game so far, and let's not ruin it with a lot of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties or anything like that. You know, let's have some clean, hard-hitting football and make sure we keep it just like that.
Yeah, that's what we've had, is a hard-hitting football, John, especially to end the second quarter. We saw a lot of hard-hitting football.
So it's going to be 2nd down and about the length of a football, to go. You can see all the jerseys pretty muddied down the field there.
We want to be cleaning those tomorrow night, John.
All right, back to pass. Looked like it might have been a bad snap. He picks it back up, looks downfield, and it is almost intercepted there by DeCastro. Pass was intended down the field there for Black once again.
And that was nearly picked off by DeCastro. If the field conditions hadn't been so sloppy, he may be able to make that pickoff.
On the center quarterback exchange there, it looked like the ball went down the ground, and Omani was able to pick it back up and pass it down the field there. So ball remains at the 46, and that'll be 3rd and less than 1 to go. Monty brings the play in from the sidelines. Black goes in motion. And they're going to give it to Tufo. And Tufo has the first down and more. He gets across the 50 to the 45-yard line. No doubt about that one, Matt. No need to measure. Big first down there for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, you're right. No need to measure there, John. As we mentioned, Tufo, once he gets in the backfield, he is explosive. I mean, he was bumped for a couple times, and he just exploded through. As you can see here in the replay, he's going to be initial contact, then he's just going to pound through. And that was a nice try by Chaz Mungelson to try and strip the ball from Tufo, but Tufo had a tight grip on that. There's no chance that ball's coming out.
So 1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line on the Quincy side of the field. Monty gives it to Tufo, and Tufo's going to get a yard or two on that play where he is met by several Quincy presidents. Over there, looked like we're the Negan brothers. Also, Jim Akins came in, and Chaz Mungelson as well.
The defense has definitely been Quincy's strong suit all year, and it's just been no change here today on Thanksgiving.
So the ball's at the 43, gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 now. 3 minutes remaining to go here in the third quarter. Raiders come to the line, Tufo in the backfield. Monty back to pass, and it is caught there by the Red Raiders, and it looks like it was caught there by Benson Luke. Actually, that was Dave Guerriero on the catch, and he goes up to the 24-yard line, and another Raiders first down.
That's what you want to do with your career. You get the inside step, about 2 steps in your defender, who is Chris Ryan McDonald, and you just cut across. As you can see, he's going to get the inside step and then just take it all the way.
You can see a nice job by Chris Ryan McDonald to make the tackle, but he slid about 7 or 8 yards before he was able to finally bring him down.
And definitely running these slants are what's going to. Omani's doing a great job in running these. So you can definitely tell they've been practiced and rehearsed over and over again.
It's a pitch to Tufo to the right side. He's trying to get across to the end, and he can't. He's going to get probably no gain on that play. So no gain on that. 2nd down and 10 now.
North should be credited so far. This has been a great drive. They started off at their own 20, and now they're down on Quincy's 30.
Second and 10 now for the Red Raiders. Ball spotted at the President's 24-yard line. 1:40 left to go now in the third quarter. Raiders come to the line. Guerriero and Luke are the receivers. It's passed down the sideline for Guerriero, and it is incomplete. Looked like it hit his hands, but he couldn't able to bring it in. Nice coverage, though, by the President's Chris Ryan McDonald.
Yeah, it's tough to tell if Guerrero wanted to come back in for that ball a couple steps and you know, dupe his defender and to go in line and coming back for a short gain. But he was just slipped up in that mud, and as we mentioned all day, the field conditions, you know, it's just tough to get something going.
Yeah, it's one thing we should talk about is that a lot of these times players are out there rehearsing or practicing on usually a dry field, and you're able to cut back and your cleats are able to dig in. However, today it just isn't working, and the normal cuts you'd be making in practice just aren't working here today in the field. And that, like you said, Matt, might have been the exact case there. He wanted to show long, come back short, but just didn't have his footing.
It's a high snap.
Goes over the head of Omani. He picks it back up, though, and he's sacked there by Chris Pratt at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I think Omani, if he had that second option to do that over again with a high snap, he'd want to just fall on that ball. You don't want to get up with Chris Pratt and DJ Andrews coming at you because you never know what could happen. That's happened to Boyle a couple times today, and you know, we just said it again, but it's all the field conditions. It's tough to get a good snap, tough to get a good hold.
So 4th and about 30 to go now for the Red Raiders. And it looks like they're going to be forced to punt the ball away.
That possession, it took a lot of time off the clock too, which inevitably could hurt North. You know, you take so much time off the clock and you can't put points up on the board. Down 2 touchdowns, it's tough. About 30 seconds left in this third quarter.
All right, Black to punt. He gets it away. DeCastro stands at his 10-yard line. He's going to field it at the 10. Crosses the 15 to the 20 now to the 25, 30, and he goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So good return there by DeCastro, a 22-yard return. and the Presidents will start at their own 32.
Yeah, Quincy should get off at least one, maybe two plays with 17 seconds left in the third quarter.
Ball will be officially spotted at the 32-yard line of the President. First and 10, President.
Quincy comes to the line now. 3 receivers in the slot to the left of Boyle. DeCastro in the backfield. They give to DeCastro. He runs up the middle, and he's going to fight his way maybe to the 35. Yep, he gets to the 35-yard line, and that's where his forward progress was stopped. So gain of 3 on the play.
And that's going to end the third quarter with the score 14-0 Quincy. And John, that third quarter, it was all Everton DeCastro, all offensive line.
Yeah, it certainly was, Matt. As we mentioned in the very beginning of the quarter, the Red Raiders kicked the ball off to the Presidents, and they elected to try an onside kick, a risky move we had mentioned when it happened, and it almost paid off. Tufo was almost able to jump on it for the recovery. However, Quincy did recover it. And after that, Quincy marched down the field, a 56-yard drive, and a big 28-yard pass from Matt Boyle to Matt Giordani for the big fourth down conversion. And a play later, Everton DeCastro ran in for the touchdown, and the momentum swing happened there.
Yeah, it definitely did, and Giordani should be credited with those 2 big receptions he had today. And Boyle's doing a great job of throwing the ball, and just you can't say enough about DeCastro. But on the North credit, they put together a great drive, and it's just tough to convert. I mean, they chewed up most of the clock in the third quarter, John, and that's not good if you can't convert.
Certainly, Matt. And also the Quincy Presidents, they kicked the ball off to North Quincy, and on the first play, it was a fumble recovered by the Presidents. And 4 plays later, DeCastro had an 8-yard touchdown run to make it 14-0 after the extra point. So Quincy leads 14-0 here after the 3 quarters of play. Go back down to the field now for the fourth quarter.
Certainly, both teams leaving nothing on the field after today's game. That's the way they've been playing it through 3, and I can almost guarantee that's the way they're going to play for the last fourth quarter.
So handoff to Everton DeCastro, and he's going to get to the 41-yard line. And he'll be about a yard short of the first down.
You know, and North has to stay focused. This could be where the emotions set in. This is for a lot of players, this is the last time they could be playing football, the last quarter of their careers. And you have to just keep playing hard-nosed football and try and just put some points on the board and cut this.
All right, full house backfield we've seen a couple times with Stroud, Andrews, and DeCastro. They give it to DeCastro, and it looks like he's going to be hit for a loss there. On the tackle was Jade Pina. So he loses yards. So it's going to be 4th down and 2 now for the Presidents. And it looks like the Presidents are going to elect a punt here on 4th and 2 in their own territory.
A lot of special teams here today, John.
All right, good snap. Flag thrown on the play. DeCastro kicks it off, and it's going to be fielded by McBrien. Actually, he's going to let it go past him. It goes down to the 30, 29, 28-yard line. Steve Spring was actually down there, excuse me.
Yeah, Spring has to be very careful on that. He changed his mind last second. If that ball touches him, that's a live ball. He'll be very careful about that. But there was a flag on the play, so we'll have to see what that is once we go down to the field on that one.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a false start against the Presidents. See, the referee is talking to the North Quincy team, seeing what they want to do. Do they want to re-kick it, or do they want to take the penalty, or just take it where the ball is at the 28? Down to the field for the call.
All right, we have a legal procedure. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. We will repeat 4th down.
All right, so an illegal procedure, didn't have enough people on the line of scrimmage.
And that was a pretty nice kick by DeCastro. We'll have to see if he can match that again.
McBride and number 24, Benson Luke.
Sean McBrien and Benson Luke to receive high snap.
That snap goes over the head of the Castro, goes down to the 10-yard line, and he's brought down at the 5-yard line, and the Red Raiders are in business here.
Red Raiders certainly are in business. There are no flags on that play, which it doesn't appear to be.
Jade Pena came all the way back and made the tackle, went over the Castro's head. The Castro tried to pick it up at the 10, and he couldn't. He was brought down at the 5-yard line, and that's where the Red Raiders are going to take over. You're going to see in the replay here, Matt.
Just a high snap.
He goes over his head, and he tries to pick it up, and bang, he's brought down there by number 26, Jade Pena.
Yeah, snapping that ball is number 77, Dan Walsh for Quincy. He's a sophomore, and he came over to the sidelines with his head down, and Noble kind of gave him a pat on the back. I don't know if it was out of frustration or just, a little comfort.
All right, they give it to Tufo, and Tufo's going to get no gain on that play. Coming up to make the hit was Mike Neenan. Going to see the replay here on that last play, Matt. Nice job by the defensive line to come up and make the stick.
Yeah, Neenan and Pratt and Stroud have been there all day. Haven't mentioned their names too much, but they're getting definitely the job done on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, 2nd down and goal now. Omani on the center. He gives it to Tufo. Pitch to the left. Tufo gets to the 5, and he's brought down there. Excellent tackle by Chris Ryan McDonald to prevent Tufo from getting any further.
Yeah, Chris Ryan McDonald, not a big kid. He stands at 5'7", 150, but he is definitely a hard-nosed player, and he knows how to make tackles.
All right, we're going to see in the replay here. Right there, Tufo runs to the right, trying to get outside. And right there, nice tackle by McDonald. And it's another no gain, so it's at the 5-yard line still. 3rd and goal now for the Red Raiders with 8:20 left to go in the game. They trail by a score of 14-0.
McDonald's what you call a sure tackler. He's going to take you out at the knees, and he knows he's going to bring it to tackle. He's not going to try and wrap you up and have the chance of you getting by him. He's going to take you down and make sure you're down.
So North Quincy has excellent opportunity here. It's a 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Quincy went back to punt. And actually, we should mention that Quincy did punt, but it was an illegal procedure penalty that forced them to punt again. On that second punt attempt, it was a bad snap over the head of Everton DeCastro, and he was tackled there by Jade Pena at the 5-yard line. And that's where we are right now. 2 attempts by the Red Raiders have been unsuccessful. So it's 3rd and 5 now. 3rd and goal from the 5.
Yeah, Quincy has had a lot of penalties today. They basically shoot themselves in the foot. And they really got to try and capitalize. North Quincy has to capitalize here. There's a perfect opportunity. 3rd and goal on Quincy's 5.
Omani back to pass. Still looking, rolls out, throws it into the end zone, and it is intercepted by the Presidents. Intercepted there by number 81, John Brooks, for the touchback.
That's tough, John. The momentum has definitely shifted once again. To have 3rd and goal in your own 5, and Omani just lofted it up there. He was being pressured by Chris Pratt. But that's just not what you want to do in that situation. You don't want to loft the ball up there. That hit him right in the chest.
So you can see there, John Brooks is certainly happy as he comes off the field. Brooks is the senior on this team. We're going to see in the replay here. Omani goes back to pass, and as you said, he was being pressured there. Lost it up into the end zone, and right there, Brooks comes up with the interception.
Just about 8 minutes left to play. Still 14-0 Quincy. And Quincy's going to take over on their own 20. There might have been a timeout called.
Yeah, it looks like it was a timeout called down on the field.
Boyle's heading over to Noble to get the play.
So 8:12 left to go here, Matt, and another defensive stand by the Presidents. They come up big in their own end zone with the interception there by Brooks. So it remains 14-0.
Yeah, Brooks had has had a big day. Remember that big stick he had at the end of the second quarter, and now the interception. Quincy, everything's going right for Quincy today.
All right, and just as you say everything is going right, they have another penalty here. Looks like it might be another false start.
Yeah, everything's going right except the penalties. A lot of false starts.
Down to
a
the
dead
field.
ball foul, false start on the offense. Repeat the first down.
So a 5-yard false start penalty on the Presidents.
That's what, their 5th of the game? Or their 4th?
Let me double check here. I think that's their 4th. First and 15 now for the Presidents at the 15. They give it to DeCastro. He runs to the left, and he's going to get to about the 20-yard line where he is met and tackled there.
And DeCastro hasn't had too much success running it up the middle. When he breaks out to the flats, that's when he's pretty much unstoppable.
Terrence Sibley and Anthony Black, met on the tackle.
But it's not to say that Everton DeCastro can't do that, run through the middle, because we've seen it today a couple times, but he seems to have more success running out towards the flat. As you mentioned, Sibley, he's had another great game for North, just making tackles.
Presidents come to the line now, 2nd down and 11. Boyle fakes his handoff back to pass, looks downfield, hits McDonald, and actually I'm not sure if McDonald caught that. He bobbled it, and he does catch the ball there. So a nice catch by McDonald. He bobbled it and was able to bring it back in.
That was a great play by Captain Dan Neenan to make the block. Boyle was being pressured. I'm not sure who it was by. I didn't get to see the jersey, but he was being pressured, and Neenan took him out of the legs.
Chris McHugh was in that area, Matt. So
It could have been McHugh.
All right, ball's at the 28-yard line. 3rd and 2. And we're going to have another false start on the Presidents. Just as the Presidents go down to the field, yeah, it's going to be a false start on the Presidents. So another 5-yard penalty.
They're really hurting themselves on the false starts here, John.
We have a dead ball foul, false start on the offense. Repeat the down, 3rd down.
The head official there's probably getting tired of saying that. He was saying that in his sleep tonight. Just about 6 minutes left to go here. I mean, North Quincy has had the opportunities to put points on the board.
3rd and 7 for the Presidents. And again, it'll be another false start on the Presidents. Half the team jumped, the other half of the team didn't. Down to the field.
We have a dead ball foul, false start on the offense. Repeat 3rd down, 3rd down.
Really losing energy on saying that one.
So it's going to be 3rd and 12 there. You can see Matt Boyle talking to Coach Bob Noble there. And he's going to run out onto the field. So on this drive, Matt, that is their 3rd false start penalty.
And normally you can't win football games with this many penalties, but Quincy is in pretty good shape.
5th penalty of the half for the Presidents. 4 false starts and illegal procedure. And the illegal procedure came back to almost haunt them as well. So 3rd and 12 now. Hazelhurst goes in motion. No one in the backfield for the Presidents now. They're going to pass over to DeCastro. DeCastro is going to run across to the 30-yard line. And he's going to be close to a 1st down here. We'll see if he gets it. Yeah, I think he's going to have the 1st down there, Matt. He's going to be very close to it.
Yeah, he definitely is going to be very close, so you'll probably get a measurement. 1st down.
Yep, 1st down there for the Presidents. There was a pass out in the flat there to DeCastro, and they just let him work his magic. He got the 12-yard gain, and it looked like he got exactly 12 for the 1st down.
Yeah, that's a personal favorite play of mine. Throw it out to the excuse me, I'm sorry. Throw it out to the side, just let DeCastro do his thing.
So 1st and 10 for the Presidents now. Ball spot at the 30-yard line. They give it to DeCastro again. He runs up the middle, and he's going to have a 7-yard gain there on 1st down. He gets all the way up to the 37-yard line. Just about at 5 minutes now, Matt, left to go in this game, and the Presidents still on top 14-0 over their rivals, North Quincy High School.
Yeah, time is slipping away for North, and they have had the chances to put points on the board, so hopefully they can, put something together here. But with that clock running, now we're into about 4 minutes, 45 seconds to go. It could be tough.
And it looks like it was a fumble on the snap there.
And North signaling
North
that they
thinks
have
they
it.
have it, yeah, Matt. And North has the ball there, so North picks up the fumble. It was tough to see exactly what happened here from our vantage point. But it looked like it was the center quarterback exchange. It was a fumble, and North Quincy was able to pick it back up.
So North Quincy 1st and 10. It's going to be spotted on. Here's the replay right here. We'll see if we can try and pick up what happened.
So just as we mentioned, Matt, that North's going to need, and it was a fumble exchange, or the center exchange that caused the fumble. So just as we mentioned, North's going to need to have a stop here. They pick up the fumble, and the ball is now spotted at the 37-yard line. Monty back to pass, looks downfield, and it is broken up there by DeCastro at the very last second.
DeCastro is doing it all today, John.
Everton DeCastro is certainly making a play here for MVP of this game, and he comes up with a big pass break up here, as we're going to see in the replay, Matt.
As you can see, all day Omani has, and DeCastro, wow, just gets right in between the pass to knock it away. That's a great defensive play by DeCastro.
So 2nd down and 10 now for the Red Raiders. 4 minutes and 29 seconds left to go here in the game. Raiders come to the line. 2 receivers to the wide right. I formation behind Omani. Black goes in motion. It's a pitch to the right to Tufo. Tufo runs to the right. He's going to get across the 35 to about the 34-yard line.
Tufo's had a pretty quiet day. I mean, he's getting his 5-6 yards of carry, but we haven't seen the explosiveness in the backfield that we've been talking about. So that could be coming up very shortly, John. Third and 8, just about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to play. Omani drops back. It's a flag on the play.
Yeah, he passes it down the field, and it's
Brooks
intercepted by Brooks again
Brooks.
there. We'll see what the flag goes. He gets across to the 20-yard line where he's brought down. We'll see what the flag is, though. Omani just threw it up. Looked like he might have thought it was against the Presidents.
Noble signaling that decline. It's going to be President's ball.
Looked like it might have been a legal motion. Go down to the field.
We have an illegal shift on the offense. Refused. First down.
All right, so the Presidents come up with a big interception. An illegal shift was called against the Red Raiders, and it is declined. And John Brooks come up with his 2nd interception of the game.
John Brooks also making a play for MVP of this game.
All right, ball is spotted at the 21-yard line, and that's where they're going to take over. The Presidents will.
Just about 3.5 minutes left to go in this 73rd annual matchup of Quincy versus North Quincy. Quincy's atop 14-0. Quincy's going to have the ball. It looks to be on their own 21-yard line. And basically, I think you want to do a lot of running here, and just if you're Quincy, you want to chew up that clock.
And that's what they do. They hand it off to DeCastro, and DeCastro decides he's not going to go down after the first hit, and he's going to get to the 29-yard line. So 2nd down and about 2 to go now for the Presidents. 3:20 left to go in the game. Neither team has been outstanding on the offensive side here today, Matt, but the Presidents have done enough to make sure that they can get some points on the board. They've had 2 good drives to begin the 3rd quarter, and that's where we stand at 14-0.
Yeah, they have Omani who's been throwing the ball to it. I mean, it has been picked off a couple times, but as we see DeCastro here in the run, Omani's been throwing the ball, and they're not afraid to throw the ball, and they showed that from the first play of the game.
DeCastro's going to get to the 35-yard line. In the process, he picks up the first down. Clock continues to run.
Just about 2.5 minutes left.
40 seconds remaining in the ballgame. First and 10, President.
Presidents taking their time coming out of the huddle, trying to waste as much time as they can. Boyle under center, waiting for the signal for Coach Noble, when to start the play. Coach Noble's over there.
Yeah, he's a fist in the air and brings it down.
Looks like he's keeping time on his watch there for the play clock. They get off, they hand it to DeCastro. He runs over to the right. He gets to the 40 and to the 42-yard line. Everton DeCastro, a fantastic run.
He's been doing that all day, John. He powers through.
So the ball does get to the 42-yard line there. And it's going to be a second down and about 3 now for the Presidents.
Just about 1.5 minutes left to go in this game.
All right, we're at 1:40 now left to go in the game. Presidents again taking their time. 14-0 is the score with Quincy High School on top. Presidents line up. 3 receivers in the slot to the right, DeCastro in the backfield. And it's going to be quarterback keeper, and Boyle's going to get across to the 45-yard line where it looks like he's going to be very close to a first down. I think he might have been right at the marker.
Yeah, that's all Quincy needs right now is a first down, and that's the game.
All right, so they pick up the first down at the 45. First and 10 now. And as you said, Matt, North Quincy can call a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they do so. All right, so we're coming up on 1 minute to go here in the game. 14-0 is our score. The Presidents look like they're going to be coming out on top of this annual rivalry game once again.
Looks again that Quincy has shut out North Quincy for the second year in a row. Last year was 27-0, and this year it appears it's going to be 14-0.
All right, Boyle under center. Gives it to Castro. DeCastro holds on to it, and he gets to the 50-yard line there. Gain of 5 for DeCastro.
Yeah, this should be the game right here.
Yeah, I think one more play, and
Yeah,
that will be the game.
That will do it. You know, North did hang in there the first half. You know, it was scoreless going in there, and it was a great defensive matchup. It's just tough to stop DeCastro once he's in the red zone.
All right, the clock is ticking down. 3, 2, 1, and that is the ball game here at the stadium. The Presidents have won for the 7th straight year in this Thanksgiving Day football game between the Quincy High School Presidents and North Quincy Red Raiders by a score of 14-0. And big 14 points came in the third quarter, Matt, where they were able to come out with a couple of drives, 8 plays, 56 yards, and they capped off by a 2-yard touchdown run. And we should mention probably the play of the game. It was a 4th down and 6, and Matt Boyle threw the ball down to Matt Giordani for a 28-yard pass gain to pick up a first down. And a play later, DeCastro punched it in for the touchdown run.
Yeah, Matt Giordani, he's probably going to get lost in the shuffle here talking about DeCastro, but Gio did have 2 great receptions, as you talked, John, about the one on 4th and 6 for 28 yards. Gio should be credited a lot today with this win. But also, we talk about DeCastro in the red zone. He's just unstoppable. It's tough. North Quincy's defense, they did a great job, but it's just tough to shut down a player like DeCastro.
The other play that they had, Quincy kicked the ball off. Quincy got it. On that first play, it was a fumble. Quincy recovered. 4 plays and 16-yard plays later, Everton DeCastro had an 8-yard touchdown run, and after the extra point attempt, it was 14-0. Everton DeCastro accounted for all 14 points here today for the Quincy Presidents. So as we mentioned, the 7th straight victory and 11 victories out of 12 years. And the Presidents have just come out on top here. And after the first half of play, it was a very close game. We were scoreless at the half. And probably might have been the second play of the game there was when North Quincy went for the onside kick at the beginning of the half, and Quincy was able to recover and go down the field for a score.
Yeah, you really roll the dice on that if you're Bill Shaughnessy doing the onside kick. I mean, it's a risky call. If North capitalizes on that, Bill Shaughnessy looks like a genius. But it's just tough, and it's a roll of the dice is what it is, John.
Yep, certainly is. Final offensive yards there, 210 yards for the Presidents, 70 yards of offense for the North Quincy Red Raiders. And a lot of passing attempts, but not too many completions in the first half. The field was extremely wet. As the sun came out here in the second half, it dried up just a little bit. We saw a little more passing, a couple more completions, but most of the offense of both teams was on the ground here today, and that's where the game was won.
Definitely, Omani was not afraid to throw the ball. It's just that Brooks was there to pick it off twice, once in the end zone and once right on the 40-yard line. And, it's just so many people stepped up for Quincy. Brooks, he had that big hit to end the second quarter. And, you have obviously DeCastro, Chris Ryan McDonald, and the defensive linemen, Pat Stroud, Chris Pratt, Dan Neenan, Mike Neenan, all making big blocks, having holes for DeCastro, and that's how they win this game, John.
Certainly, Matt. John Brooks, we said 2 interceptions. One was in the end zone. And North had a third down and goal after they pinned Quincy back after a snap over the head of Everton DeCastro for a punt. So his third down and goal, Omani threw it into the end zone. It was intercepted by Brooks there. And the second interception by Brooks is what sealed the game for the Presidents. So again, 14-0 here is our final. Real quick, we want to thank a lot of our crew that came out here today on Thanksgiving Day game to bring this action to you. On camera today, we had Grace Busher, Glenn Busher. Down in the field for our field camera was John Mercurio, and also Howard McKay. On replay, we had Bill Early. On graphics was Michael Jarvie. Our engineer is Chris Potter. Our director today was George Capadonna, and our executive producer was Elizabeth Campbell. So from Veterans Memorial Stadium, the Quincy Presidents win for the 7th year in a row by a score of 14-0. For Matt McLaughlin, my name is Jonathan Caleri. We want to thank you for watching this edition of Quincy Access Television Sports.